Well, I might have been half right. I said to you on the last vlog that I would not be coming to you from Reno for this vlog, and as you can see, I am not. This is the town of Eureka, Nevada, an extremely small, out-of-the-way town. And I'm shooting a Silver State sights here on my way back to Ely, where you have seen on this vlog, and I will be coming up at the end of the vlog. The hands we're going to get to come from the pepper mill, so I wanted to get to Sacramento, didn't get to it yet. They actually lost my reservation. I thought I had booked it. Apparently I hadn't. You probably don't care. The point is, I'll get there coming up in a couple of weeks. But I do have some hands to bring you that come from a pretty interesting game at Peppermill. And this is a vlog where it needs to be pointed out. I'm not always here to show you what you should do. I'm just here to show you what I did. And you'll see what I mean coming up. And then at the end of the vlog, as I said, we will show you some other cool out-of-the-way places in the state of Nevada on what should be a pretty busy trip for me shooting Silver State sights. So I jumped into the 3-5 game at Peppermill on a Friday night and was down about 200 before I could move into the 2-seat and start vlogging. At that point, we got an under-the-gun limp and another limp on my direct right. I'm in the hijack with ace queen of spades and make it 30. Both call. So with 90 in, it comes king, king, 5, rainbow, and it gets checked to me. I figured $40 was a perfect amount to get a hand like pocket sixes to hopefully fold out, which both players proceed to do. Next hand, we get a raise to 25 from under the gun plus 2, and I pick up 8-6 of diamonds in the hijack and make the call, having not played a hand in about a half hour. The button calls as well, so with 75 in, it comes jack 8-3 with a couple of hearts and 1 diamond. The pre-flop raiser checks, I check, and the button bets 60. The pre-flop raiser decides to check call, and while I know it's trivial, I decided to check call as well, closing the action. So with 255 in, the turn is a really interesting card. It's the 6 of hearts. Plus 2 checks, and with 2 pair, I decide to bet out here for 100. The button snap calls, and plus 2 doesn't take too long with it, and calls as well. So with $555 in, the river is the 7 of diamonds. 9-10 gets there, and I obviously lose to the flushes already. Plus 2 checks, and at that point, I was definitely concerned about the strength of my hand against 2 opponents. So I elected to check it here as well, which is definitely a mistake, because all jacks are checking back, and I don't think anyone is going to be bluffing in a 3-way pot. I should have at least made a small bet here. But probably due to how bad things have been going for me lately, I didn't. It gets checked around, plus 2 shows ace-jack, the button shows queen-jack. Both players have the ideal hand that I would have liked them to have, but I miss value on the river. So we take down a nice pot, but fail to maximize on a fortunate turn card. Waited about another half hour before playing another hand, when the button straddled to 10, and plus 1 calls. I'm under the gun 3 with king-queen and make it 50. The cutoff cold calls, and plus 1 limp calls, so with 165 in. The flop is ace-6-5 with 2 diamonds. I decide not to c-bet bluff, and the cutoff, who is quite tight, bets out for 50. We both fold. The sole reason I included this hand is to remind myself to stop playing king-queen in spots like that. A couple hands later, we get 3 limps, and I have ace-jack of diamonds in the blind. I make it 30 more, and one of the 3 call. So with 85 in, the flop is jack-7 deuce, rainbow, with 1 diamond. I bet out for 50, and plus 1 makes the call. So with 185 in, the turn is actually a pretty bad card for me. It comes the ace of spades. This is likely an action killer. I decide to size way down, kind of expecting that. But my $6 bet results in a fold anyway. With only 6 players at the table, we get an under-the-gun limp, and the hijack raises to 20. He's the last guy at the table that I want to be playing a hand against, but I can't avoid it here, picking up pocket nines on the button. So I make the call, as does the limper, and with 65 in, the flop is ace-queen-6 with 2 hearts. But nobody bets, and the turn is a 9. Under the gun checks, and the hijack now bets 30. Now, he had raised pre-flop, and he checked the flop. So, to me, that likely means that he either hates that ace, or he's slow playing a monster. Now, if either of those are true, then I shouldn't be raising here, especially with another player in, who I hope comes along and adds money to the pot. So, I decide just to call, but under the gun ends up going out. So with 125 in, the river comes an offsuit 4, and now he checks. So I decide to bet out here. I end up making it 85, and he quickly folds. And when he checks here, it should be pretty clear that he can't beat the ace. So my bet sizing, I think, should have been extremely small. I should have bet 40 or so, targeting a hand like king-queen or pocket jacks. After that, I managed to lose back about 200, but that would take us in to the most interesting hand of the night. And it requires me pointing out the fact that for about the last year, I've been looking for a spot to do this. And by do this, I mean play the skinny on this vlog. More on that later on as to why I wanted to do it. But for those who don't know, the skinny is deuce 3. We get a raise from early position, and I pick up deuce 3 of spades, and I decide to make the call on the hijack here, and the blind comes along as well. The flop is king 7 deuce with 1 spade, giving me bottom pair and the most meager of backdoor flush draws. Pre-flop raiser continues with a $50 bet, and much like in the 8-6 hand before, I make what is undoubtedly a very trivial call here, but one that I think could pay off if my hand were to improve. The blind folds, so with 175 in, the turn's an offsuit 3. So I make 2 pair, and now we get a bet of $85. Now, I decide, of course, to raise immediately here. It would be a terrible play not to, with all the possibilities of getting counterfeit cards and my action killed and things like that. So I decide on a sizing of 220. He doesn't think too long with it and makes the call. So with 615 in, the river is the jack of diamonds. And now he starts reaching for chips. I fully expected him to check to me here, thinking that ace-king was the most likely hand that he could have here, but he could certainly have pocket aces or pocket queens even. He reaches for chips and bets big at that. He fires $425. Now, had he checked to me here, I was going to bet, obviously. I was probably not going to bet quite that much, but I was going to probably settle on a sizing of 300. Either way, there's no way that I can fold here, but I just don't see exactly what I'm expecting to see. Seems kind of bizarre to still be betting ace-king. It's possible he could play pocket aces in this way, but it didn't feel like pocket aces, so to speak, so I didn't really know what to make of it. Obviously, king-jack is the one hand that makes complete sense played this way. But like I said, I can't fold. So I decided to make the call, obviously, and we have a $1,465 pot, and he shows ace-king. So I'm not 100% sure if he was trying to turn ace-king into a bluff, or if he just still hoped that ace-king was good. But we take down a massive pot with the skinny. And finally, one more thing to point out here. I've been listening to a lot more music lately while playing due to the wearing of masks, and plexiglass really cuts down on conversation with fellow players. And while surfing Spotify, I came across our boy Oscar Lewis, who watches this vlog and has sent us in some music. I thought it was pretty cool to just randomly come across his stuff on such a big platform. All right, I almost can't believe that I'm back here once again. Ely, Nevada, White Pine County, kind of the middle of nowhere. Not really close to Vegas, not that close to Reno, not that close to Salt Lake City, but pretty drivable from all three. Those of you that have been with me since my first couple of vlogs will remember this exact location in front of the Hotel Nevada. And, well, I just thought I'd come back here again. If you're going to record a vlog in Ely, you might as well record it from the coolest spot. And for those of you that do remember that vlog, I sincerely do appreciate you for being with me for now almost 3 years, as it was early 2018 where I did my first vlog. So back here once again. Just got done shooting several Silver State sites, went down to Cathedral Gorge State Park, which was really cool, over to Kershaw Ryan State Park. Sounds like it was named after two pitchers. Obviously not the case. The town of Caliente, Nevada, and then over to Cave Lake State Park on the way up here. But the thing I meant to mention earlier was with regards to the skinny and the hand that's become famous. And it just occurred to me about a year ago that obviously no one else is doing any vlogs in Reno. And the skinny has become like this well-known hand in Reno. And this first became apparent to me when I was watching a Run It Up Reno live stream. And in that live stream was going, of course, to the whole country, and the whole world for that matter. Most of the viewers were not in Reno. The commentators were just referring to DEUCE THREE as the skinny. Like, they knew about it. They didn't play in the Reno games, and it had become a thing. And for those of you that haven't heard that story, I just thought I'd tell it after my little extravaganza, my little adventure with the skinny earlier in this vlog. A player by the name of Aaron, super nice guy, and a really good player, just kind of fell in love with the hand. I'm not exactly sure why, but he just kind of became his hand. And, well, Aaron isn't exactly skinny, but he used to be a lot less skinny than he is now. He lost about 100 pounds, as far as I understand. So even though he still wasn't skinny at all, his nickname became Skinny. And since DEUCE THREE was his favorite hand, well, the nickname stuck. I just think it fits. Like, just DEUCE THREE called the Skinny. I just think it just seems fitting in and of itself. So that's how that happened. And now pretty much everyone that plays regularly in Reno knows the Skinny. Local favorite Mr. Z loves to occasionally run bluffs with it. So I've been trying to win a hand with the Skinny for quite some time, and ultimately that's how it ended up happening. So kind of funny, and obviously it worked out quite well for me in this vlog. So that is that. Actually, before we wrap up this vlog, I want to bring your attention to the guy that I just mentioned, Skinny, who jumped into the game in Sacramento, Stones Live. And who would have guessed it? He just happened to be playing against a guy who seemed to know exactly what he had.
Aaron is considering here with his also jack. He has the same hand as Nat.
Bomb pot hand here.
And Nat is not being a nit, Andrew Sousa. He is coming along here with his jack. Maybe this is one of the times he should have been Nat the nit.
And Aaron is raising.
Hell of a read by Skinny.
Whoa, okay. Didn't see that coming. Great raise. This is going to work.
It should work.
This is going to work. How can anybody call him?
There's no way they could.
I mean, it would be so freaking ambitious for anybody to call here.
More than ambitious.
See what Miracle Man Mike does.
Like, why can't Aaron just already have a wheel? Why can't he just have 3-4? There's a bomb pot. Everyone is rangeless.
Certainly could beat
And
Jack
Mike's in
10.
such a bad spot because he has everybody left behind him, but
God, his
nobody
instincts
has
are
raised,
good.
and this pot is very bloated.
Yeah, and Mike's instincts are telling him that he could have the best hand here still.
Is it his instincts,
I don't know
though?
how in the world he can figure that, but you can see he doesn't want to fold.
It's hard to win when you fold.
You know, I mean, think how many times Mike would snap fold in a situation like this, or other players would just snap fold.
Yeah.
But not this time. Mike's instincts are telling him, not this time. This is not a snap fold.
Not on Stones Live.
Well, even if he ends up folding, even if you think it is a snap fold situation, give yourself the time to really work through the hand.
Or really know what they have.
And is Mike going to raise?
Wow, good and Lord Almighty, Mike's gonna find a click back.
Wow.
How does he do it?
Oh, he must be a god.
How in the freaking world?
That'll wrap it up for this edition of the vlog. Really appreciate you guys hanging with me. As always, hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. I genuinely do appreciate that, as I do appreciate those of you that have been with me long enough to remember the first time I was here in Ely. I will see you back in Reno next time, and then I will be going to Sacramento, Thunder Valley, to play a little bit of poker. At least that's the plan.